Have you ever struggled with a disruptive student? You know the one, tapping the desk during a lesson, blurting out answers, distracting classmates while you're just trying to finish a sentence. I remember early on in my career, I had a student who I'll call Marcus, who couldn't sit still for more than 60 seconds. Every time I turned my back, he was always doing something, building paper airplanes or spontaneous dance moves or, the works. I tried everything, rewards, consequences, even calling home, but nothing seemed to stick. And it nearly broke me. But here's the thing, I eventually figured out what worked and it changed everything. Now, in today's episode, you're going to learn how to respond to disruptive behavior with confidence, okay? Discover what might really be behind it and walk away with strategies that you could use in your classroom tomorrow. Welcome to the Teacher RockStar podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to providing valuable insights, practical tips, and best practices to help you thrive in your classroom. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, and today we're going to dive into a topic that every teacher, sooner or later, doesn't matter how many years you've been in the classroom, that they experience this situation I'm going to talk about, and that's how to handle disruptive students. Point one I want to share with you is understanding the why behind this disruption. First things first, disruption is usually a symptom, not the root problem. Research tells us that nearly 80% of disruptive behavior is tied to unmet needs, whether it's emotional, academic, or social. I had a student who I'll refer to as Mia, who acted out constantly during our math lessons. Turns out she was 2 grade levels behind and she was lashing out because, quite frankly, she was embarrassed. The moment we started giving her targeted support, the disruption vanished. Think of it like a car's check engine light. Ignoring it obviously is not going to fix the problem, right? But investigating it will. So before labeling a student as just difficult, ask yourself, what is really going on here? Now let's move to the next piece of the puzzle, your classroom environment and expectations. Point 2, setting clear expectations and being consistent day in and day out. Disruptive students, they thrive in chaos, but they settle down in structure. A consistent, predictable routine is like a safety net for many students, especially those who come from unstable homes. I once visited a classroom where students knew exactly what to do as soon as they stepped foot inside that class. You could almost set your watch by their transitions. Why? Because the teacher had spent the first 3 weeks drilling procedures, going over and over and over. One of the most effective strategies I've found to be is posting a visual behavior chart and reviewing your expectations daily, not just on the first day of school. Think of your expectations like guardrails on a mountain road. They're not there to control the driver. They're there to keep everyone safe. Are you a teacher who finds yourself drowning in the challenges of classroom management? Do student behaviors leave you feeling overwhelmed and drained at the end of each day? Picture this, a classroom where your students are not just present, but fully engaged, focused, and eager to learn. Say goodbye to classroom management stress and hello to success. The Teacher RockStar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher RockStar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program. Now, I want to talk about the third key, all right? And that's building strong relationships. It is foundational, very, very critical here. I always like to think of it as connection before correction. This one is powerful. Relationships are the secret sauce to managing disruptive behavior. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I had a student who I'll call Jordan, who challenged me every single day, eyes rolling, talking back, even walking out of the class. But when I took the time during lunch, now hear me well, when I took the time during lunch to play Uno with him and ask about his interests, things began to shift. That connection created trust, and that trust led to respect. Think of it like watering a plant. Now, if you don't tend to it, can you expect it to bloom without daily care? Of course not. So when students feel seen, valued, and heard, all right, oftentimes their behavior is going to turn around. All right, so, and that's the key. So let me recap what we've just shared with you. Now, you've learned the importance of digging into the why behind the behavior. That's the first step. How to establish rock-solid routines and why forming genuine connections with students can be a game changer. All right? Disruptive students aren't there to make your life miserable. They're sending signals. And now you have the tools to decode them. You'll walk into your class with more confidence, more patience, and a clear action plan. And if you're ready to dive deeper into mastering your classroom management skills, check out the Teacher RockStar Academy. All right? It's packed with step-by-step strategies to help you hone your classroom management skills. All right? Well, that's a wrap for us today. We'll see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher RockStars. Until then, thanks for listening.